But this one time, I literally got 10 minutes into my sermon and I was like, I am boring myself. And because it was a term we were doing spiritual gifts, and I got the week preaching on healing.
Yep.
And I literally got 10 minutes.
It's a great topic.
Great topic. Not the way I preached it. Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to our podcast. Another two Christian 20-something-year-old white guys do a podcast. We're back again, which is awesome. Thank you, Charlie, for doing this again.
No, absolutely. Thank you for setting it up, because it was your idea. You reached out to me, so it was like, yeah, I'm very glad to be doing this. It's good fun. It means that I have something to. It's like a planned thing.
Yeah,
it's exactly. Nice to kind of have that. Yeah.
Exactly. And we're not going to be doing it every week from now on, are we? We're going to be doing it once a fortnight. We're going to do 1 week where we just chat and just figure out what we're going to talk about. The next week from now on, we're going to then film. So it'll be alternating for us now, which is really good, because it means it frees us up and we're not scrambling to figure out stuff more.
Absolutely. A week is not enough time to do research.
Exactly.
Shout out to to basically every single uni student ever.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. So today we're going to it's going to be a bit different today. We're going to have a bit of just more of a chat today, and we thought today would be a really good time to do a bit of a fun one. So we're going to both you and Charlie and I have finished up leading youth ministry at the end of 2019.
So sad.
And so we were both in youth ministry. I think I worked out it was a combined total for us in youth ministry. It was like 18 years or something between us.
Something ridiculous like that.
I think it was 8 years for you and 10 years for me leading in youth across two different youth ministries. So we both had lots of different experiences in youth ministry, and we thought, hey, why not? Let's talk about our experiences, talk about our history, the good times, the bad times, things we learned. And I guess this one is more just an encouraging kind of reminiscing, bringing up good memories and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, I'm looking forward. Yeah, like for me, I guess for me, it kind of ties into the fact that I came straight into youth ministry straight out of high school.
Yeah.
And so like basically as soon as I finished up being in youth, I started leading at youth. And there's positives to that and there's also negatives to that. So it's interesting to kind of go, to think back on it and go, what were the challenges? What did I think went well? Exactly. What did I think failed miserably? That kind of stuff. So like it's I think it's a good, and obviously we are not the be all and end all of youth ministry, but like
what I thought we were.
Oh
yeah.
Well, I sorry to break that. Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, I think based on our combined 18 years of youth ministry experience, I feel like there is something for us that we can share. Like, I feel like there'd be something, and I think part of this is, some of the boys that we led during our time as youth leaders are now youth leaders themselves. And so, this is kind of like, here is a parting gift of all the terrible things that we did that you should not do.
Exactly.
I think, it's a good discussion to have. I think it's good to have like a kind of space to step back and reflect on a time. Because I don't think. I personally don't do this like as much as I probably should, and I don't think culturally that happens either. Like I don't think we, as a culture, value kind of introspection and reflection, kind of looking back on things and thinking through things that have happened in the past.
I was going to say I don't think I thought much about like. I know when we first finished up youth group, I was like, oh man, I'm super sad about finishing. And then it hit me, I think like a month or two later, finally, I was like, oh, I'm actually finished. But I haven't actually really thought about it much in like reflection sort of upon like my, 10 years doing it. So I think this will be actually kind of cool chance to do it, which is awesome.
I agree. You
want to start by sharing a little bit then in that case of what's your history with youth ministry, just briefly? Like,
sure.
You said that you started straight after high school. Like, what did that look like? Where was that? And
so finished up high school. I think I've said before, I went to a Christian high school and I was in youth group the whole way through. Between and obviously my time at youth, as I think with all youth groups, there's changes and kind of tumultuous things that happen, and obviously you're a teenager, so everything's weird anyway. But coming out of high school, I still wanted to be a part of the environment that youth was. And so I wanted to, I guess really the only way I could stick around was being a leader. And that is not the best reason to do that. Yeah, but like, so I took 3 months off after I finished the HSC. I took 3-ish months, because I went, so at the end of the start of 2012, I had like a 3-month, kind of holiday-ish thing.
So when you went to America?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Came back, had depression, big kind of stuff happening there. But as soon as I came back, I jumped straight back into youth, and it was really the only thing that gave my week any sort of structure. And it was a chance for me to connect with my friends. It was a chance for me to kind of be part of this community that I really enjoyed. And you know, so I came back, and that was kind of my mentality for for maybe 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Just like, this is a place where I can come to interact with my friends. And, you know, we went through a few different youth pastors, which is, you know,
still while you're at Dayspring, right?
Yeah. So came back. Yeah, sorry. Was that Dayspring. And went through a few different youth pastors, and, you know, things kind of shifted around a little bit, but I was there basically from when I left high school to when I finished up youth last year. And so, yeah, like I kind of, it was an experience, and it was interesting to kind of see the different styles of youth ministry under different youth pastors. So I was there, and I think it was, I don't remember when. I think it wasn't too late in the picture when you joined in.
I came in end of 2014 is when I started. Well, I started at the beginning of 2014, started at youth group for term 4. Yeah.
So at that point, we started leading, you know, the boys, like there was a group of boys that we started leading when they were in, it was year 8, I think, or year 7.
Year 7.
And then we were them for most of the time. We were leading them all the way through until they finished high school. And so, it was kind of that I guess is my kind of history. Is like I joined because I wanted to be part of the youth ministry, and because I wanted to keep up with my friends. And then it kind of evolved into this, I want to invest in these boys. I want to make sure that I'm giving these guys a good foundation to step into the greater, wider world, even though I myself haven't had a lot of experience with it. So that, I think, that's my kind of history. And I feel like, you know, yours similar, but also different, I think, from what you told me.
Because I started leading during high school.
Right.
So I actually started in term 4. So I'd come from sort of leading in kids' church in year 10, and then my youth pastor asked me it was in year 11, and he asked me to become a sort of like I guess you'd call it like a junior leader to become in term 4 of year 11. So I did that. Sure. I was like co-leading with someone, but more kind of like being trained up as a leader. Yeah. So to know how to like lead the connect group time and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Then term 1, year 12, I was kind of like fully fledged leader, one of the main ones, which is cool. And so I got chances to like lead different things. And sorry, this also was at my old church. This wasn't currently. So my old church, Norwest Anglican, what an amazing church. And really it was from there that I got my love of ministry and ended up doing what I'm doing now because of youth ministry and because of being exposed to and being asked to join the youth team. Like I think I owe where I am now to starting in youth ministry. So if you start in youth ministry, you never know where you'll end up.
You absolutely don't.
So led there, and so started in year 12 and went all the way through. And then when did I led that until 2013. I led it youth group until 2013. In 2013, I actually became the youth pastor for a year because the guy who was leading it he ended up leaving the church. And so I was an apprentice at the church, like apprentice at the time. They're like, here, youth ministry. And I was like, oh, awesome. Which was, it was awesome.
Sure.
Because we had sort of reinvented youth group a little bit over the last sort of 2 years, just because numbers had been going down and we were sort of thinking about why is this? And so we sort of changed the program, and we were able to see the youth ministry grow from, I think, 8 kids to we were getting sort of like regular 36 kids or something like that. And so that's sort of like where I left that's where I was when I left and everything, and that's where the youth ministry was at. And then came to Dayspring 2014. And so I was kind of like, you know, it's the classic sort of thing. You go to a new church and you just want to have a little bit of a break, have a breather, not get involved, just sort of rest and recuperate a little bit. But then I think I literally got to term 3 and I was like, okay, give me something to do. I'm like,
I am ready. I am ready.
And I remember talking to Narelle Crabtree, and she's like, oh,
nice.
She's like, oh yeah, they need help in youth. And I was like, oh, cool, awesome. So then I think it was term 4 I started, and literally I started 1 week, and then Sean, our current youth pastor, he started the week after me, and close friends and stuff as well, which is awesome. And so yeah, from there, I think it was similar actually. I think at Dayspring at that point there were like 8 kids when I arrived, and it was really it was like a flashback to the past, because I'd been like, I've just done this 3 years ago. I'm like, I feel like I'm back where I was like 2 or 3 years ago. I was like, all right, cool. Interesting. And so that was a fun sort of journey to go on over the next 2014, 15, like 6 years.
It was it's been a while,
which was awesome. Like, and I loved it. So then we, same as you, Charlie, like we left end of 2019. And so we led the boys together all the way through to year 12, which was awesome. And
I'm still so surprised that they turned out as well as they did.
I know, right?
Like, considering us.
Well, and then we had Ruben join us for a little bit in there as well.
It was, like, for those of you who don't know, so Ruben has been at Dayspring for longer than I have, and he is actually my oldest friend. He and I have known each other since we were like 1 and 2 years old. So so having him kind of join in on the team, because I think he joined because we had so many boys. Like, we had so many guys in our group that we needed a third leader just to kind of balance, like, be able to, I think legally, but also to kind of, like, I guess, kind of guide the group a little bit more. And it was good. It was really, really, like, it was a really good dynamic, I think.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, and it was, you know, and there was an interesting point. I forgot to mention this when so I think it would have been about 2 or something years ago. I was feeling, I mean, this probably come up later, but like, I was feeling a bit kind of stuck in routine. I was kind of coming along just because I was coming along, and I didn't really feel like I was investing in the kids as much as I wanted to. I can kind of sense myself kind of getting a little bit like, I'm just doing this because I'm doing it, and it's not really fun anymore. It's not really something I'm enjoying. It's not, and so I kind of made the decision to step away for, I think it ended up only being 1 term.
Yeah, I think it was
and, you know, Sean, who is an amazing youth pastor, Sean and Chelsea, they were very supportive of me taking a break, which was really nice. You know, they made me, you know, they kind of released me and went, if you need, you can take a break for as long as you need, but you always be welcome back. That was really nice to kind of have that sense of being able to step back and go, all right, I need a break. And then after about a term, I was like, no, okay, I think I'm ready to come back. Like, it was there was a sense of like, yeah, okay, I know, like, I'm coming back, and I am coming back.
Yeah, reevaluated, figured.
Exactly. Yeah. It wasn't just I need something to do on a Friday night. It was I want to invest in this group of boys and these relationships that I've built. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So I think going on from that, what are your 2 favorite memories from leading?
Okay. So a couple of years ago, I think it was, I think it was 2017, I think, was our first time that we had a youth camp. So we had so when I was at youth, we'd had when I was at youth, and I think a little bit into when I was, like, when I first started leading, I think we had a few camps, but they kind of tapered off. It just didn't, I think we just didn't have the number of kids to justify having any sort of official kind of youth camp. And then in 2017, we kind of gotten to the point where, so Sean and Chelsea had kind of were in the leadership for a little bit, and they were like, we should do something. Like, they felt like it was kind of the right time for it. And I was essentially, as part of my diploma of ministry at the time, I was helping out as like an intern.
Yeah.
And so I helped to kind of, I guess the term is orchestrate all of the camp stuff. So like, you know, ringing up 15 different campsites and going, how many people can you have? What's kind of deals can you make? And I guess that first camp, seeing all of that kind of culminate and kind of come to bear, and knowing that I had a hand in making all of that happen, I think that is like, I remember, you know, it was only I think it was 3 days. I think it was a 3-day camp that first year. I can't remember though.
It was Friday to Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, so it's 3 days, 2 nights. And it was, I remember a Saturday night, it always seems to be the classic youth group, people are on the floor crying kind of, and I remember having that first Saturday, you know, because previously I hadn't really been in kind of a leadership, I guess, mentality, even if I'd been as a position there, I don't think I had it as like in my head, that was what I was. And so seeing the kids that I'd been leading have those kinds of encounters with God was like, it was really special. And just knowing that I'd had a hand in helping create both the space for that to happen and just kind of being able to encourage these guys and girls on their journeys, I think was just a really cool moment, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think that first camp is definitely probably my top highlight out of my entire 10 years being in 2 different youth ministries. I was like, I was just thinking about it as you're talking. I was like, I think about that Saturday night session. I remember it started because we'd been in worship, and that's right. We'll share this story because it's like a pretty crazy story. I remember that night Sean had been preaching, and he felt, and it'd been sort of falling flat. Like the kids were engaged, and then there was just such like, we'll call it like spiritual warfare going on, because we literally that night, Chelsea and I weren't even in the building because we were out with 10 other kids who had all of a sudden gotten sick with headaches and feeling sick and that sort of stuff.
I do remember. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I had to go to Coles and get medication for one. Like, it was just crazy. I remember, I think Chelsea texted Kristen and was like, please pray for us. Don't know what's happening, but it's just crazy. And then we have this amazing Connect group who prays for us, like who are the parents of some of our kids at youth, and they were praying for us and stuff. And anyway, I remember walking back into the room, and I just remember feeling like, it is flat in here. Like, and Sean's message, it was awesome. It was about, I think his message was about defining moments, about having a defining with God that sets you up and changes your life. And I remember it's like, this is an awesome message, but the kids are just here, and there's just like this heaviness and flatness in the room. And then I think we went into, so that happened, and there was like literally no expectation in the room. Like, it was like, cool, this is going to be a flop. And then it was just, I just remember it was crazy because I think Sam Hornshaw gets up on the keys, and we just go like, we're about to go back into like a worship song, just some time for prayer and ministry and stuff. And then all of a sudden it was like the atmosphere just like shifted like that, and he like, broke down crying while playing. And I'm like, oh, weird. I'm like, well, that's cool. I love that. And then I remember one of the boys, one of our boys, he over here on the side, he's just like hands in phase, like a It was literally like a what do you call it? Like a chain reaction. Within like a matter of 5 minutes, it was like the room was crying. Like
I do remember that. It went all of a sudden.
And I remember I was just looking here, and I'm like, what the heck? And I remember at one time I just got the giggles, because it was like the giggles. I'm like, wow, God, you're so good. The fact that my faith level was like rock. I'm like, nothing is going to happen. And then God just came through like that, and awesome encounters. And so I was going to share, I think my most amazing encounter, my favorite memory from this camp was seeing, I never actually used to be able to tell this story. I think I've never actually told this story without crying. So we'll see how we go.
Okay.
I think
I'm excited. Here we go.
Since I've told the story, so we should be fine. But I remember seeing a brother and sister, and I remember just knowing them, and I'm pretty sure that they'd been having some fights and that sort of thing, and just And I remember seeing her; she'd been having her own encounter, and then he was on the floor. I think he having his own encounter on the floor over here. And then one minute she gets up and I'm standing at the back of the room just watching what God's doing in the room. And then I see her walk over to him and they just start hugging. And then this other girl comes over and is hugging them with them. And she's like, I won't say his name, we'll call him Bob. She's like, Bob, she's like, I love you so much. She goes, I love you so much. I need you to know just how much I love you. It's like, I'm sorry. And like all this, it was just like this beautiful moment of like, God's kindness touching them so that then it touched each other and their relationship. And I was just like wrecked me. And I literally, every time, I've told that story numerous times. I remember I went to Adelaide with Aaron and told that story to a youth ministry there. I was like, boom, there. Boom. I was like, I literally went from this camp and mum and dad were like, oh, how is it? And I was about to tell them stories because I was super G'd up and excited. And I literally didn't get a word out. I just like broke down crying in front of my parents and they're like, wow, we've never seen you like this. I'm like, yep, explains it all. So I think that was probably my favorite moment, just seeing that it wasn't just people having their individual encounters, but seeing the encounters actually affect someone so drastically straight away.
No, absolutely. I remember, I think there was one other memory that I do have, which I think is a highlight for me is, there was, like, I think it was only maybe like, I think it was halfway through last year. So, coming to the end of the kind of, the end of our time as kind of a group of guys in a group, in a connect, like kind of an official connect group together. And we just sat down and we chatted for like a solid, I think it must have been an hour. It must have been like ages. And we just talked, and the guys opened up in ways that I'd never seen them open up before.
That was my other highlight too.
It's like you just sat there and like, we made like it was a dumb thing. It's like the vault, like this kind of idea that like whatever what happens in this room, what you say in this room stays here, and we don't talk about it outside. And so it was kind of like just the way that they opened up to that, and the way that they engaged, like with such vulnerability and all this kind of stuff. That was really cool to see. Like, that we'd been close, but I think that was a big moment, I think. And that was significant, I think, for us as a group. And maybe it might have been just like, oh my goodness, this is coming to an end. But I don't think that's a bad thing when that kind of stuff happens.
I think that's right. And I've said to the boys since, I'm like, boys, what we achieved last year in terms of us opening up and being vulnerable, I'm like, that's the leader's dream. I'm like,
absolutely.
We got there before we finished. I was like,
we did it.
Like, because that's what I'd been hoping for and praying for years, and we finally got it. And that's the thing about it, right? It just happened authentically, and like it wasn't us forcing it. It was just just sort of happened, and we were just like, wow, that happened. And then it was awesome seeing like the next few weeks after, they're like, oh boys, can we just chat again? Like, and it was just like wanting to like have those deep conversations again, and have like they're all like obsessed with having D&Ms and
no, it was good, and it's good, and it like I feel like that's all you can do. Like, jumping forward, all you can do as a youth leader is make space for that kind of stuff. Like you could, like there's nothing like you can't force that kind of stuff to happen. All you can do is just kind of go, here is a space where if you feel like being vulnerable, you can be, and it's safe. And you can't force that kind of stuff. And if you do, it's always going to be inauthentic. Like,
and that's the thing I learned, I think, from that. I think building a foundation of trust early on, and trust, it took 6 years, and like they trusted us before that. Like we had conversations with our boys about other stuff before that, but in that group setting, I think laying that foundation of trust and just slowly work at that and build that relationship. And so I think that's something I learned. It's just like, wow. And I think it goes for anything. You just like, don't expect to have that boom connection, open up vulnerability straight away. Actually, it's just that slow walk and walking alongside the boys, and it just slowly, naturally will happen. Which I think,
you can't force that kind of stuff.
Exactly. So, what are your two least favorite things from leading?
Least favorite. I writing them down. Oh, okay. So another story from camp. Not the same camp. I think it was the year after. So it would have been 2018. At that point, we'd kind of joined forces with so Anna and Kristen originally were from a church in Newcastle, and so so we kind of joined forces with their youth group to have a youth camp together at Lake Macquarie. And at one point, one of the girls, it was like probably past midnight, and I was one of the leaders on the night shift for that night, and I can't actually remember what the situation was, but somehow a phone had flown across the room and hit this girl in the head. And she came out and she was like, I feel dizzy. She had a concussion, is what we kind of vaguely pinned it as. And so being, only having, maybe being 2 or 3 weeks fresh from a first aid training course, I was just sitting there going, well, there's not much I can do in this space other than, how is your head feeling? Turn off all the lights, sit quietly. We have we can do that kind of stuff. And everyone was tired and everyone was just like, this is so dumb. And I remember, I think Ruben was there as well. And I remember him just looking at the time and it went, so this is like one in the, it was like, I think it was approaching 1 o'clock in the morning. And, or what was 1 o'clock in the morning, and it went, so it was approaching what would have been 2 o'clock. So on 1:58, 1:59, 3. Because it was at that point that we realized, daylight savings.
Yeah.
And so not only was it a long night, but we lost like an hour of sleep, and it was just, it was like, it was fine, but it was just on top of having to ring this girl's parents and try and get everything sorted on that end, and then also having it be daylight savings and losing an hour of sleep. It was just like perfect storm.
So that was the same camp as well that the kid dislocated or broke his shoulder that he'd already had an operation on.
Yes, it was that one. Yes, it was.
He slipped over on the slide thing we had, and the pins came out of his shoulder internally, so he had to go back to hospital.
Yep, we did great on that.
I know, right?
I mean, here's the thing with youth. There's that, like, you can account for as much stuff going wrong as you possibly can.
Exactly.
And stuff's still going to go wrong.
It's going to happen.
and it's then, how do you deal with it? And I feel like we dealt pretty well with it because, we were all fairly professional about it. We knew what we were doing most of the time.
Yeah.
And it was just like, stuff's going to go wrong. And the more people you have, the more likely stuff's going to go wrong.
Yes.
And eventually you get to the point where you go, look, we'll deal with it when it happens.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, I remember one of probably my least favorite memories are the disgusting food challenges that we had to do. I think probably whether I was, because I think I might have done 3 food challenges across my time at youth, and nearly vomited on all of them. The last one, which was our de-initiation for us to youth, I literally cheated my way through that thing. Because Sean's like, okay, if whoever doesn't finish this, whoever finishes this the slowest is going to have to drink a whole other cup of it. And I was like, there is no way I'm going to drink another cup of this blended, disgusting.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting over a bin. I'm like, I even sniffed it. I gagged because I've got a gag reflex. I was like, oh, heck no. I think I took one sip. I was like gagging up.
Yeah.
How do I get out of this? And so it was literally like, sip. And then I was like, make it look like as I'm gagging, I'm like, tip that thing out in the bin.
Oh, that's cheating.
And then I think the other one was when one of our boys ate dog food.
Yep.
Dry dog food, the wet dog food.
No, wet dog food. Yep, I remember that.
And I just remember this, literally for about 6 months, I couldn't feed my dog because I gagged my face off watching him eat that. I couldn't feed my dog that food without a little bit queasy because I was like, it just brought back the memory of watching him do it.
Like, oh, dude, that like for a solid few months, like I have flashbacks because it tasted. Here was the thing: I couldn't pin the taste. And then afterwards, we as was kind of tradition, we went to McDonald's afterwards, and I got, I think I got like a thing of nuggets with Big Mac sauce.
Yep.
And then I smelled the Big Mac sauce, and I went, no, that's the smell. That is the taste. And so like to this day, I have a hard time with Big Mac sauce.
Yeah.
And I used to love it. Like it's amazing. But it's just like,
I know.
No, I do not enjoy this, because it was exactly like, it was spice, there was fish sauce, it was like just exactly the right combination of flavors, and it's just like, no, I can never eat a Big Mac ever again.
Yeah,
it's
I remember
kind of disappointing.
Also seeing one of our girls eat a chili and end up throwing up at youth group in the bin because it got too hot for her.
Oh man, I do not remember that one.
Yeah, I just remember.
When was that?
She was running around going, "Oh, help me, Chelsea! Help me!"
I'm sorry, whoever that was. I'm so sorry, but it's just funny.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, just like all those food ones are just
no.
I just
not
can't.
Worth it. Not worth. I mean, I understand. It's kind of like I mean, part of it is like, I don't like the humiliation. Like I think it's part of it, but it's just like, it's kind of like the bond is like, oh man, can't believe we did. Yeah, like it's that kind of, it's kind of half bragging rights, half, let's see how much we can embarrass these poor kids, which is not great. Yeah.
It's all part of growing up, right?
No, I'm sure.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think as well, my other least favorite memory was when I literally, like, because I preached numerous times across my time at youth group, which is fun, and I always love preaching. And this one time, like, generally after walking away from preaching a sermon, I would either be like, oh, I felt really good, or either it was just like, yep, it was an okay average.
It was a sermon. It was a sermon. It's done.
It was a sermon. So I preached the word. I mean, that's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But this one time, I literally got 10 minutes into my sermon, and I was like, I am boring myself. I was, and because it was a term we were doing spiritual gifts, and I got the week preaching on healing.
Yep.
And I literally got 10 minutes.
It's a great topic.
Great topic. Not the way I preached it. And no one told me afterwards. Like, no one said it was a bad sermon or everything. Hey, you couldn't remember what it was. Maybe that's because
I could not remember the sermon.
But I remember just being up there, and I was like, I'm boring myself, and I'm having this internal conversation with myself while I'm talking, and being like, just get through it. I'm like, we've got ministry time. We've got 10 minutes of ministry time at the end, so you're going to be preaching for what, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
And I remember just preaching up there, and I was like, I am bored by what I'm saying. How the heck are these kids coping? I'm like, I was so bored with myself.
Yeah.
Like, we got through it, and God healed people afterwards. So I was like, hey, it was still a success, but I just hated preaching it. It was like,
dude, oh man, that is the worst. Like when you're in the middle of speaking, it's like, I am boring. I am boring right now. What have I done?
It's not like you're by yourself practicing. It's the fact you're in front of people and people having to listen to you while you're thinking you're boring. I'm like, nope.
Oh man, it's the worst.
I know. Did you have any other bad memories? Just drowned out by too many good ones.
I mean, look, to be honest, see, I tend not to dwell on bad memories.
Yeah, me too.
I think that's a defense mechanism more than anything else. But I think, I think that there were maybe a few times when I felt, I think the worst times were when I didn't feel like I was doing my job well. Like, I think that the times that I've had bad experiences were times when I'd forced myself. You right?
Get the sneeze.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Bless you. I think the times that I found that I had poor experiences were the times when I wasn't invested.
Yeah.
I'd come there because I think it was the kind of routine thing. I was coming in, I was doing the motions, and then that was it. I think that was where most of it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I have anything else specifically. There's funny ones which are bad for other people and not for me. But I think for me the worst times in youth were when I wasn't invested. I think. Yeah. That's what I think. I mean, if you have any other bad memories, like, feel free to share them. But yeah, for me, I don't think it was ever. Yeah, there wasn't really anything. Like, I came away, I was like, similar. I don't know, kind of similar feeling to what you may have felt at the end of your sermon, where it's just like, that was bad. Like, I didn't do. I didn't invest as much as I should have. I think is where. is what would have happened. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't have any other bad memories. Because I think most of the time I loved it. It was just sort of like those ones that sort of stood out that are like,
yeah, absolutely, yeah. The few dark spots in a sea of just like, this is pretty good.
Like,
I'm okay with it. This is fun.
So, what do you wish you had known before you started leading?
Oh, that it's not a place for me to hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
I think that was a key thing that I had to go through. And I think part of the reason it stuck with me for so long was because we were so small for a long time.
Yeah.
I remember at one point we had more leaders than we did kids. I think that was the lowest. That was our lowest point, I think, and that was, well, maybe that happened maybe 2 or 3 times, but it happened. And because our group was so small, it did almost feel like it was a chance for me to interact with my friends who were also leading. And that's not a bad thing, but coming into a leadership position with that kind of mentality, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And so that I think the things that I wish I knew were that this is not, I think that's just kind of a mindset thing. Is like, you're not coming here to interact with your social group. This is about investing into like the kids that are younger than you and you leading them well. I think that was kind of, that I think is the main thing that I wish I'd known before I went in. And then also, I think the one other thing that I wish I'd known I wish I'd known the importance of putting in time to learn in the church. I think, like, as a youth leader, you are essentially under the leadership of the church that you're a part of. And so in order to accurately and communicate, and in order to get across the church's position well, you need to know the church's position. You need to be learning well. And, obviously there's room for discussion in there. There's room for, I don't quite agree with this and here's why, but you need to be learning. You need to, as a leader, still be growing as you're leading. And, that's just kind of a lifelong idea anyway, but it's still this kind of idea of, you can't stop learning and you can't stop being fed by the church that you're a part of and the church you're leading just because you're now leading, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, those are my two. It's not about you, and you need to keep learning, I think, are the main two things I wish I'd known. What about you?
I think for me, this one's a bit of a lighter one, but I wish someone had told me how hard it would have been to leave.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think, because you go into it, and I think I went into youth ministry because I had my good experience in my old church, and I love sort of leading the kids.
Yeah, sure.
Because I love that sort of discipleship and walking with kids and that sort of stuff. But I think I just didn't realize how much our youth ministry on a Friday night would end up feeling like family.
Yeah.
Not just a program. I think, because my other youth ministry, it was great and I love it. And I think it's a awesomely healthy youth ministry now. And I think it was healthy when I left and stuff.
Yeah, good.
But I think in that sense, it still felt, just reflecting now, I felt like it was a program I was leading. And yes, I loved the kids and loved doing it. But this one, I felt like this was family. Like our leadership team felt like family.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely.
We had lots of fun, doing Maccas afterwards. And like you lead Friday night, we led well, we got in there, we got our hands dirty. So I think I wish I had known how much it would have felt like family going into it.
Yeah.
Having to leave was super hard, and I didn't realize how hard it was going to be. And as I said earlier, that only hit me 2 months afterwards, being like, oh wow, I actually miss youth group. I missed being there on a Friday night. And
I remember having a similar experience. Yeah, it was like, oh man, yeah.
So I think that one, but then on a more practical one, I think definitely I wish I'd known, I guess earlier on, the importance of building trust with our kids early. Yes. And but also coming in with lower expectations as well. You know what I mean? Cause I think we often come in, it's come with high expectations of what God's going to do and stuff. But in one sense, I think we also need to lower expectations of, they're not going to be telling you the deepest, darkest things straight away. Right. They're not going to be super clicky. like, heck, one of our boys, he hardly spoke for the first couple of years, but now you hear him and he's like, "Wah!"
Yeah, he turned into one of the loudest people I know.
Loudest people there, which is
and
like,
my brother is ADHD and he's loud, so I know.
but it's things like that being like, okay, it took a few years of number one, him growing up and changing as well, but also creating a space for him to feel comfortable to be able to be like that.
Absolutely.
And so I think I wish I'd known that going into it, and not going in with such being like, all right, boys, let's study the Bible together. Let's share deeply. Tell me your prayer points, and your prayer points beyond just being, I need help with this assignment. Like,
it's like, I get it, but it's like, there's more. Yeah, I understand completely.
And I think as well with that, it gives you having that trust and ability to connect over that time, then provides you that platform to be able to speak into their lives as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm like, if you're just some random dude who they don't really know or trust, it's like, why do you have that position to be able to speak into their lives? But
no, absolutely. And it's interesting. Like I prior to doing youth, I'd also been kind of a semi-leader in kids' church as well, and so I knew a couple of the boys coming into youth. So even but even then, there is a relationship you still have to build. Like it's not just a one-off. Like you can't just start with like everything up here. Like you can't start with that level of intimacy and trust. It just doesn't happen.
I felt a little bit naive in that sense, being like, we're going to start super strong, but then you're like, okay,
no,
a base level foundation first.
I mean, but it takes time. Like that kind of stuff only comes with time. So what would you have done differently then? What like out of all the stuff that went on in you, what do you think you would have done differently?
I think so. This was a hard one just because of so many memories from so much time. I think one of the harder things I found, I wish I'd made more of an effort with the kids I found naturally harder to connect to.
Sure. Yeah.
I think just the way I'm wired, or because people are wired, you're naturally sort of drawn to the people you easily get along with, and you have easy sort of relationship with and trust with. But I wish but then I think it made it, I feel like I, in some senses, didn't connect as well with certain kids, and therefore didn't put as much effort into trying to build that relationship with them. So I wish I'd sort of, I think, tried harder there and made more of an effort.
I get that.
So I think with that comes as well, and I think our boys turned out super well anyway. But I think I wish we had done discipleship better throughout youth group.
Yes.
Yes. And so rather than just having used those connect times to just chat and hang out, I wish earlier, and who knows, maybe this is just the way it went and this is the way it needed to go. I'm not sure. But I wish we had done some more discipleship better with them.
What I wrote down was do more for connecting with the boys and be more prepped for doing stuff with, like, being better prepared for that kind of stuff. And so, like, I think it's a similar line. It's like there is, and I, part of it is like, I wish I'd done this better. I wish I'd done this better. But it's like, when you have that kind of time, you want to be able to invest in a way that's actually going to help them.
Exactly.
And we did, obviously, like building those kinds of relationships is important. But there's something like, it's just like, there's just this one other aspect that I feel like we didn't quite get there.
Yeah. I think related to that, I think one of the hardest things, and I don't know if it's related or if it's, I don't know. I think one of the hardest things in being a youth leader is when you see kids stop coming to youth and stop coming to church and all that sort of stuff. I reckon that's one of the, I think that's one of the suckiest sort of parts of the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Like 5 years of connection, and then people just walk away, or 2 years of connection and people aren't there anymore. It's like, what went wrong? And so I think that's one of the hardest things as well. So I think it just sort of speaks again to the need for, all right, actually journeying with someone where you're actually at, and because sometimes I don't think we even know like what people are actually
absolutely
thinking.
not. No. And then, and I think part of that is the connections, like, like you were saying, we connect with people that we identify with. And so it's like, and so I think, part of it is important to have the kind of leader that can connect with the kid. And obviously, you can't be perfect every time, but at least having that kind of, and that's, I think at one point we did split up the groups. Like our boys, we got big enough that we were able to just split in half.
They did not like that.
No, they did not. It was very funny. They called it a divorce. It was very funny. But yeah, like there was like, but we kind of split it in a way that kind of made the most sense, I think.
Yeah.
You know, and I can't remember because I think, yeah, it was good because it meant that we were kind of able to have the kind of discussions that some of the boys needed to have, and some of them were kind of a little bit not interested in. So it was good to kind of have that distinction. But yeah, like there's definitely a point where you go, I wish I connected with you better.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think and I think you're always going to have that. But it's just
totally.
Hindsight is a wonderful thing, right?
Yeah, all the time. I know. It's terrible.
Right. What were the lessons you learned from leading then, Charlie?
Oh, okay. This is a fun one. I think the main. Okay, there were a few. I think I learned that even when I don't feel like I have stuff to give, I have stuff to give.
Yeah.
Like I learned that I have more to give than I think I do. And whether that's energy or whether that's time, whether that's insight or friendship or relationship, like there's always more that I can give. And when I think I felt it most when I was feeling gross and sucky and just wasn't feeling engaged. And it was when I kind of pushed through that things happened, and they happened well. Yeah. So I think that's part of it. I think that was one thing I learned. That I have more to give than sometimes I think I do. The other thing that I learned is kind of the flip side of that, which is don't push yourself too hard. Like I was saying, I at youth for about 5 years, and I took a break because I could feel myself burning. And I have I've had a few friends who've like, I can't keep going. Which is and it's completely understandable because of the way that they and youth were kind of interacting was just not healthy or feasible. It just wasn't going to work. And so, being able to recognize the signs of, okay, I'm burning up, I need to take a step back. Yeah. And then also being able to know when to come back in. I think it's kind of like it's about balance. Yeah. You can't have you have more to give than you think you do, and you can burn out, and it's easier to burn out. Particularly in ministry, basically in any sort of service profession, I think.
Yeah, totally.
Like there's a point where you go, I literally cannot give any more.
Yeah.
And the kind of people who are involved in service, whether that be, whatever it looks like when you're serving other people, I feel like it kind of those kind of jobs, roles, experiences kind of self-select for people who want to give a lot. But there's always going to be a limit on how much you can give and still be able to be healthy.
Yeah.
I think that's the key. That's the thing. I think just learning about, I think that's been my journey as a whole, has been about learning the balance. Yeah. Learning how to go, I can push and I can't. Yeah. Like there's it's yeah, exactly. I think those are the main things. And then the other thing is learning how to work in a team when the people in the team aren't necessarily the easiest to work with. And towards the end of our time, we had amazing. We had a great team. Yeah. Like it was family. And the more that you know people, the more that stuff starts to irritate you, and that's just how it works. But yeah, I think learning how to work in a team and learning how to respect people who have different opinions than yours. Yeah. Being a fairly intelligent, switched on guy, it's easy for me to kind of assume that I'm the smartest person in the room.
Yeah.
And kind of assume I have all the answers when I clearly do not. Yeah, so I think part of, and I think that's one of the beauties of working in a team in the first place, is just knowing, like, you don't have all the answers, and seeing that you don't have all the answers, and being proved repeatedly that you do not have all the answers. Yeah, I think that those are probably the three things that I took away most.
Yeah, that's good.
In terms of lessons that I learned.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think mine's similar in terms of team stuff. I think mine was like just how important it is to create a healthy team.
Yes, absolutely.
I think that's what Sean and Chelsea just did really well with our team. And so I think just because I now lead in a different capacity to youth now, but I think what I learned from being in youth team is how important having a good, functional, healthy, everyone on the same page.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think that's what I learned is really important and just valuable thing, and having that family feel in your team that we all got on. We loved spending time with each other. Hey, we spent some nights at Macca's till they're like 1 a.m. in the morning. Like,
So
I think, so definitely team. I think lessons I learned, another one is trust God to come through.
Yep.
And I think, because there are times when we feel like I remember there were times when worship practice fell flat on its face. There was, things weren't working, fryers weren't working, or barbecue wasn't happening. And we were all just feeling a bit flustered and stuff. And then it ends up being one of those most amazing nights. So I think always trusting God to come through. It's like the classic thing of like, when we're weak, he's strong.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so I think just realizing that ministry is not about me or my skills or my talents, but it's totally dependent on God to do what he does best. I think as Sean always said, he's like, God loves these kids more than we do, and he wants them more than we do. And so, I think trusting God with that, and it takes the pressure off yourself to perform, to make something happen, to set the right tone or atmosphere and that sort of thing. So I think trusting God to come through, and I think even with that, just because like we're at a church that we do stuff with the prophetic and hearing God's voice and stuff. And I think youth ministry is a great place just to have a go in one sense. I remember there was this one time, and one of the boys was just standing up the back, and I was just walking past, and I literally just heard I can't even remember the words now. I heard 3 words, and it was boom, boom, boom. So, but it was like, I heard him quite clearly in my head and heart, whatever it is.
Yeah, awesome.
And so I walked up to him, put my hand on his shoulder. I'm like, hey man, I just feel like, and I had no idea what it meant. It was so random that I was like, this is going to mean nothing, but I'm going to say it anyway. Just it means something. And I put my hand on his shoulder and I said, hey man, I felt God might have said these 3 words. And it was like, boom, boom, boom. He literally just like burst out crying. And I was like, what? And then next minute I'm just praying for him, and then that's when like it was just totally Holy Spirit like came in with like things to pray for. He ended up like falling back and hitting over the dividers and everything behind him. It wasn't even that sort of thing I was going for. I was just praying for him, and he's just like zoom down. I'm like, what the heck? And so I think that's what taught me another thing, just being able to trust that God knows exactly what people need when they need it.
Absolutely.
So that one, and then my last one, I've got a few, but I won't say all of them.
It's a lot of lessons you've learned. Well, there's a lot of lessons you learned. Like, having 10 years of youth experience, you learn a lot. Like, you have to.
And I think so I think, like I've already said this, invest deeply with your kids early on, like just getting to know them, build those foundations. But with that, I think if you can, try and stick with your same kids. I think that's the lesson I learned, because that's the foundation. Because I know when I was in youth ministry as a kid, I had, I think, 4 or 5 different leaders across my time at youth. 3 or 4. And like it was fine, and like they were great leaders. But again, because you maybe have one for 2 years and then they're gone. You have one for a year and then they're gone. And so you just don't have that chance to build that trust. So if you with the same kids all the way through, if it's feasible.
Absolutely. And like, sometimes the model of, the youth group doesn't allow for that. But like, if at all possible, it's definitely worth kind of sticking with the same kids. To the best of your ability, I think. Exactly.
I think work within whatever your limitations are, but if you can, do it.
Absolutely. If you can.
So this is our last sort of advice, lesson learned type thing. What advice would you have for a current youth leader?
Learn from our mistakes. Don't do the bad stuff that we did, and do the good stuff that we did. I think it's not about you.
Definitely.
Is like the first piece of advice.
I think on that, I'm going to jump on that one. If you feel like if you've been having a bad day, and you are feeling crappy and you're like, I'm not in the mood to be at youth group, tell your youth pastor, being like, hey, I've just had a really bad day. Can I just have the night off? Because I'm like, sometimes you're more useful not being there than you might be if you are
absolutely.
there. You want to bring the mood down. People, you're just going to look like a grump in the corner. And I think that's what I learned, because there are times when I've had bad days and I'm like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So absolutely. I think on that differently.
No, absolutely. Yeah, no, totally. It's not about you, but you influence the room. As a leader, that's just part of your role. And so, you're not actually there for you. You're there for the kids.
Exactly.
And if you're not there for the kids, then it's probably good to have a think about why you are there. Yeah. And that was, that was my sabbatical is the wrong word, but like that was a part of the after 5 years, take a break. Like I needed to reassess, and I came back going, this is why I am here, because so it's not about you, and not making it about you is important. I mean, I guess to be honest, that's pretty much the whole thing. Like, it's like none of the stuff that we're doing in youth is ever about making ourselves feel good as leaders.
No.
We're not supposed to be in this for ourselves.
Exactly.
We are here to help the kids learn about and encounter the God of the universe.
Exactly.
And that, I think, is the best piece of advice. So it's not about you. So, it's about the kids. Make sure that you're there for them and not for yourself. And then have a good relationship with God yourself.
Yeah.
Know who he is for yourself, because it's only out of that you can share.
Yeah. I'd add as well. I think in youth ministry, you get so many different opportunities. Like, it's actually probably one of the best training grounds you can get in a church context, because you're there weekly in a leadership capacity. So I think if you get the opportunity to do something, don't question whether you should. Maybe, do I want to do it? Just do it. Give it a go. And if it doesn't work out, fine. Okay, that's all good. Give it a go. Like,
give it a shot. Yeah.
Ask you to preach, give it a go. If he wants run a game, do barbecue, just get your hands dirty, get involved, get uncomfortable, because you're there to, like, you learn and grow in the process, and you're there to serve the kids and do what's needed to be done so that they have the best chance to encounter God, get discipled, get encouraged, meet people, do family. So I think I'd probably add that as well. Just be like, get your hands dirty and give things a go, because I'm like, you don't always get a chance outside of youth group to do that. Like, there's not many other places you'll get a chance to try preaching. There's not many other chances you'll get a chance to try emceeing. Like, so get your hands dirty and get involved like that.
Yeah. I do remember, having, and it's, and also this is not just advice, and I feel like that's not just advice for like youth leaders, that's also advice for the kids. Like, like I know some of the best MCs we've had were kids who jumped on. I'm like, oh man, it's just some kids, like, some people are just made for public speaking, and it's just like it's just so good, and they never would have, like, we never would have known that if they hadn't taken the jump in the first place.
Exactly.
If you wanted to give it a try, give it a try. It's not the end of, and it is like, youth group is one of the least, is one of the lowest pressure places on the face of the earth, as far as I'm aware. Like, there is very, not no consequence, but there's much less, there's a much lessened consequence for getting stuff wrong at youth.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it depends on
what it is, but
there's, you don't,
if you stuff up emceeing, it's okay.
It's fine. You did, it just didn't work. It's fine, because I don't know if you've seen church on Sundays sometimes, but sometimes the MCs in church don't work either. And it's just
I stuff the other day, and I took 5 takes to actually get it correct. Oh, it's pain in my butt.
Oh, dude, I get it. Yeah. So it's a training ground. It's not,
Exactly.
Yeah. No pressure.
Yeah. So what are you going to miss most about it then? Final question.
What will I miss most? I think I will miss the feeling of family.
Yeah.
I think we got, like you were saying, we got to the end of I think in the last year and a half of our time leading at youth, it started to honestly feel like a big family.
Yep.
And Sean and Chelsea, were, props to them for kind of creating an environment where that was possible and encouraging us leaders to kind of, break out of this kind of mindset that we'd been in, whether knowingly or unknowingly. But yeah, it felt like family, and I think that's the thing I miss the most. Being able to come weekly to a place that I knew was a safe place for me to be myself. The huge dork, nerd, crazy person that I am, it was safe to be there. And I think, obviously that's something that, I think the thing is it takes time to cultivate, I think is the thing. So like having that place, I think that's what I think I'll miss the most.
Yeah.
The people and the people and the sense of family that I think we got to.
Yeah. I think I'm definitely the same. I think just seeing the kids every week, because I'm like, you get even the kids who aren't in your connect group, like you get to know them, you build that relationship and rapport with them, and so you have your own sort of like little in jokes and fun things that you will do with the kids who aren't even your kids, but but you still know them and have fun with them. So I think I just, and now not been there for 6 months now or whatever it is, I'm like,
that's weird.
I think that's what I miss, not having that sort of regular connection point with the kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
On Fridays. Yeah. Just that sense of family. And even just the team. I missed the team.
Yes.
Where was it? It was end of term 1. I had stayed back on a Friday night because I work on Fridays. And I'd stayed back a little bit later that evening just because I was finishing some stuff off, and it was about 5:30 and stuff, and the team had just arrived. And I walked downstairs and we were just chatting and stuff. I'm like, oh, have a good night. And then it dawned on me, I'm like, and actually that was the night that I actually for the first time realized, oh, wait, I'm actually not staying here to be with these guys and leave the night. I was like, oh, I actually missed just this team and missed the leading.
You messaged me about that. I remember you messaged me and were like, oh,
like, it hit me.
Yeah. Oh.
So I think I missed the team and the fun vibes and because we're just an awesome team. So I missed that, and even just the opportunity to preach regularly-ish. Like just on a different category. Just because that's always just a good fun. Like you can try things out that you may not be able to try out on a Sunday. Like test ground to try out new things and ways of preaching and try little notes, lots of notes, like all that sort of stuff. So I missed that. So saying all that, our youth ministry experience has been a pretty good one.
I agree. I think I'm like, it was my normal, I think, that's how, that's just how it is. And so looking back on it, I feel it was good. It was a good experience, and I would absolutely do it again.
Yeah.
If I were younger. I feel like I'm at the point now. Well, I'm turning. No, I don't want to think about that. I feel like I'm at the point now where it was a good time to step away. I think. It comes to a point where I need to. That's it. That's the finish. Yeah. Because if I keep holding on to this too long, then bad things are going to happen. Yeah. It was good though. I enjoyed it.
I think good. How many years we were there? Oh, you're there at Dayspring longer than me. So 8 years for you, 6 years for me at Dayspring. So I think a good stint we had.
Yeah.
It was good leading together and lots of good memories and lots of fun things. And
it's good. It's good.
I think it's nice. It's nice reminiscing about all.
Yeah. Now, I do want to say, so the divorce. So it was definitely, I was chatting with Ruben about it, because it was at that point that he kind of joined, and then we got to the point where it was like, okay, let's split, let's see how this works.
Yeah.
And I remember that we were talking about who was mum and who was dad.
Yes.
And it ended up and I was like, I'm dad. He's like, and Ruben turned to me, he's like, no, you are not dad. You are mum. I was like, yeah, that's a fair point. That's so I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for being the dad to my mum.
You're welcome. married team.
We did it. We did it. We managed.
Our boys have all grown up and moved to college. Yeah, it's good.
Empty nesters. It's great.
Beautiful. Well, good chats.
Absolutely. It's
awesome.
Yeah, it's good. This is good. I like this format as well. Like the study that there's like the kind of in-depth stuff that we've done. I like this too. So I think it's good that we've kind of got this.
Yeah.
You know, one time is this, one time is that. I think it'll be good.
100%. Well, that was good. So we'll leave it there. Thanks for tuning in. If you watch this, appreciate you watching. I know it's probably a much longer one today, so thanks for sticking it out if you did.
Yeah, no, it's good.
But
put it on the background.
Yeah. Exactly. But otherwise, have an awesome week. We'll see you in a couple of weeks when we do our next topic.
Yeah. It's going to be good.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone. Bye.